To me, it stinks. It's not kosher. Something's wrong about it. So I'm gonna try to express my thought process. You tell me what you think. So the Niners fired Jon Embree. He was their assistant head coach, tight ends coach. He's a black guy. We know that. I'm not saying they fired him because he's black. That's not it. They have lots of black coaches on their team. It's not like they felt, well, we have one too many. I don't think that's what happened. But what happened is highly irregular. That's what I want to focus on. But it's fine to fire a coach. They could have been like, you know what? You're a terrible assistant head coach. You're a terrible tight end coach. You're out. But that's not what they did. They tried to cut his salary. I've never heard that.
Allegedly. I want to be clear because I don't know if this has been fully confirmed.
Allegedly.
Yes,
Allegedly. They tried to cut his salary 60%. If you want to stay, you got to take a 60% pay cut. I've never heard of a team asking a coach to do that. I mean, calling around, never heard of it. Highly irregular. So why would you do that? To me, if you thought he was an inferior tight end coach, why would you keep him?
No reason to.
Fire him. But he's not an inferior tight end coach. It seemed like they wanted to take away maybe the assistant head coach title and give it to someone else. Okay, fine, do that. Why take away money from this man? Why? So Jed York could save $600,000 in a year? The team is worth $4.18 billion. It's nothing. So why insult him like that? And the way I look at it is, it's not because he's black, but when it's time to screw over a coach, it's easier to pull stuff like that with black coaches than white coaches. And why did Jon Embree get that treatment? Because that's how a lot of black coaches get treated when it's time to when it's over for them, at least with that organization. So I feel like just because the Niners have done right by a lot of black coaches doesn't mean they did right by this man. And what they did to me stinks. I don't like it. And I think anyone with sensibility as a human being should feel like this is not right. And I'm not saying boycott the 49ers, but I'm saying have a heart for Jon Embree. He didn't deserve this at all. He was one of their better assistant coaches. I don't understand why they fired him. They're not better off without him. It's weird. It's weird.
Here's the thing is I will listen to the argument that maybe you wanted to demote him from being the assistant head coach. I'll listen to that. I'll even listen to the argument that, hey, other than George Kittle, I mean, Dwelly hasn't really done anything. Warner's kind of mad.
I thought Warner improved as a blocker this year.
I did too. But again, I'll listen to those things. I have no issue with firing a coach. That's not what this is about.
That's fine.
That's totally fine.
That's
but
fine.
If this story is true, we don't
know.
Asking to take a 60% pay cut, I don't care what the color of your skin is. That's a slap in anybody's face.
It is.
This guy was a head coach before he came to the 49ers, like Colorado or something like that.
Right.
That, I mean, to act as if anybody is going to take a 60% pay cut, knowing that that's peanuts to you as an organization, that's
also
a slap in the face.
Knowing that it's highly irregular. It's not done in the NFL. Why would you do that?
Right. And here's the other thing, and this is why I'm not saying it's not true, and it very well could be, but I struggle to believe that it's fully true. Only because if you're that dumb to do that on the heels of what just happened with a lawsuit being filed against two other teams, you might be the dumbest organization I have ever seen.
It's possible this went down with Embree before that stuff broke with Flores. To me, the reason I keep coming back to this being irregular and weird, it seems like really trying to stick it to a guy. We're not going to fire you. We're going to insult you and make you quit or make you ask to be fired. No, I'm not going to do. To me, what happened between Kyle and Jon Embree? Like, did they have words after the game when they lost? To me, this is very weird. And I don't think it has anything to do with race. It feels personal. And it feels like they stuck it to a dude that they knew wasn't that powerful in the league and didn't have any type of recourse the way of a guy like Wes Welker might. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And he was, they see you, dude, you're out. And what did he have? What could he do? What was his network? I feel bad for him. I think it's terrible. Anyway.
I mean, if you're going to do that to anybody, it should have been Rich Scangarello. What the hell is that dude doing? Please help me.
Football fans are always quick to defend and say that there's no racism in the NFL and systemic racism doesn't exist. I'm not a big guy to talk about systemic racism all the time in society because I'm not a societal expert. I'm just in my room all the time, but I do cover the NFL. And they're always like, well, we got to empower black people because it's, all these black players in the league. We got to have black people in players, places of power. And we got to focus on head coaches and GMs. Well, there's no black owners. It starts at the top. If the league makes it okay that the owners are 31 white guys and one Muslim in Jacksonville, that's it. That's the scope of diversity in your ownership group. Well, then how do you expect it? How do you expect these teams to reflect anything different than that? It does start at the top. It is systemic and it needs to be addressed. And it sucks to see a symptom of it play out on the local team that really had shown so many great diverse strides throughout the years. I'm not saying it's a race thing with Embree, but they shouldn't have done him like that. They shouldn't have done him like that.
No, just as a human, it shouldn't have been done like that. And I mean, just for a second, if we're going to go off on that,
fire one or the other.
I don't even like this stupid Rooney Rule that they have in place. It shouldn't even exist. It shouldn't have to exist because let's be real. Jeff Garcia just came out, and a lot of players feel this way. He did it towards a woman. I hate that he did that, but I'm just saying in general, players do feel that you shouldn't have a word if you haven't been a player and a high-level player yourself. Well, we've seen that players like D'Amico Ryans can be very good coaches. Deion Sanders is doing it. Like elite level players or really good players can be coaches and should be coaches if that's what they want to do. So if most of your league is made up of one single race and that race doesn't hold any weight as far as head coaches, that to me is just really bizarre. You're telling me that there's no talented black coaches, that you can have 3 max in the league? That's just weird to me, man. That's
the NBA has a black
I can't go with that. Huh?
The NBA has a black owner. Dude that owns BET owns the Charlotte Bobcats. Am I tripping? Am I wrong on that? NBA has a black.
You're right.
What the hell? What is wrong with the NFL? Are you telling me that there's no black person that's rich enough in this country who wants to own an NFL team? It seems to me that they're not, that the NFL is that one country club that's like, yeah, why don't you take a tour of our grounds? Oh, you didn't make it in this year. Sorry, we really like you though. Why don't you give it a shot next year? That's the NFL. It's whack. Can we say that? It's whack.
It is.
It just sucks that the Niners are like involving themselves in that narrative right now. It's a bad time. You shouldn't do that. And Colin Kaepernick brought this topic out 5 years ago with players. A lot of people got upset. Now it's talking about coaches. And I don't know how anyone else feels, but I 100% back the black coaches here. It's been an issue for way too long. It's not right. It's not right.
Flores didn't deserve to lose his job. Let's be clear about that. That dude,
I don't know what
back-to-back winning seasons in Miami.
I don't know what race Bisaccia is. I don't know. Is he Italian? I don't know. He shouldn't have lost that job with the Raiders. He did a good job. He's a good coach. He worked his way up, and they jettisoned him for some white guy who failed already. I'm just saying the way this league works is rotten.
Here's what I'll say. If anybody believes that there is no corruption at that level, I think you're crazy, because the lawsuit against Miami is more to do with them trying to tank a season, and he wasn't willing to do it.
And then they fire him for not winning enough.
Exactly. Like, come on, man. There's corruption there is corruption. It's a league of entertainment about money. At the end of the day, that's all it's about. The rest of it, they don't care about.
I'm not saying boycott the league or whatever. I'm saying give a shit. Because if you give a shit, it'll go away. It's that simple. Give a shit. You should. I think you should. Anyway, I'm done.